Good morning, guys. Here on day 2 of a 3-day, 30-plus mile hike through the deserts and mountains of Big Bend National Park. In the last episode, I cached some water at the Homer Wilson Ranch and hiked, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 miles up into the mountains over a little pass and made camp last night. I got to do some reading. It was nice. But at this point, I got to get to the water cache at the ranch. I am out of water with several miles to go. It's heating up here in the desert, and so we got to get a move on. All the water that gets channeled down through these mountain washes produces a lot of the trees, and it's very pretty, but it's about to open up now. It's going to get gravelly. We're going to have some pretty cool looking orangish reddish rock formations up in the distance. You'll be able to see when we get a little bit closer. But yeah, it's opening up and getting very hot. As you work your way down the drainage, the gravel becomes more fine, more sand-like, and it's difficult to walk through. Kind of saps your energy, but it's made up for it's made up for by these beautiful rock formations. Difficult to see, but there's the water cache in the distance. I'm about a mile away now and very thirsty. Welcome to the Homer Wilson Ranch, or at least the remains of it. Be back to check it out in a minute, but got bigger priorities at the moment. Moment of truth. And it's always a relief to see if the water's still there. Technically, someone could steal your water, and that would be a slight disaster. I recommend caching a hidden ball or two in the bushes nearby. Just some emergency water so you could survive if you need to. All right, people, hydrated, fueled up, done 3 or 4 miles today. We have about 13 to go. It's a 15, 16-ish mile day. Time to cross the open desert. Welcome to the Dawson Trail. It's going to be long, it's going to be hot, but it will be beautiful and it will be a lot of fun. There's where we came from, down through the mountain pass slash wash. There's the water cache, and yeah, directly behind me is the open desert, and that's where we're headed. So many little spots like this where if you step off and twist your ankle on a solo hike, especially a solo hike where there's really no one else on the trail, hot desert, you could be in trouble. Something as simple as a twisted ankle. So pays to pay attention. And of course be in shape so that you can be paying attention and, well, save yourself if necessary. When it rains, it pours, and you can see the evidence of that here, where the water is pushed down the brush and, of course, created this little wash that we're walking through. And that's kind of the nature of the desert, I think. The ground's not very good at absorbing the water. The water gets channeled down through these choke points. And yeah, you definitely don't want to be standing there when that's happening. That's why they say don't make camp on a wash or old riverbed. Maybe a desert, but it's not flat. Round a corner, another massive hill, round a corner, another one. It's pretty much the pattern for the rest of the day. No true mountains that we're climbing, but still plenty of elevation gain.
All right, maybe this is the last little climb over this pass, initial pass or so.
Made a solid 3-ish miles since the ranch and achieved a little mountain pass here that's formed by the saddle. It's a good spot for a nap and a good spot to rehydrate. Tomorrow we'll climb up into the Chisos Mountains, and the trails there are pretty well marked, but down here in the desert it's a little bit of a free-for-all. Plenty of game paths and social trails that aren't marked, and if you're not good with a map, I would say you could probably get yourself into some pretty serious trouble.
About a quarter mile to go, it looks like, until we're through this final pass. Crossed everything, and then it's mostly down from there.
The GPS signal ranges from kind of finicky to non-existent, and you are unlikely to see many people. In fact, there's a good chance you won't see anyone depending on the trails you're on and the time of year. So yeah, physical map, shooting azimuths, navigating by terrain association, all a must in my opinion. Most of the deaths I've read about that occur out here have some component of navigation error or getting lost. I mean, yeah, the ultimate cause of death will usually be dehydration or heat exhaustion, but usually it seems like it starts with someone getting lost. So if you know where you're at, then I'd say you're doing pretty well. Shout out to the South Rim. We camped out up there a few episodes ago. Beautiful, beautiful spot. Darkness is falling here in the Chihuahuan Desert. Still a good 4 miles away, roughly. Not ideal, but I have walked this trail before. Granted, it was in the opposite direction, and it's been a while. I am at least somewhat familiar with the terrain, though, so I got that going for me.
About 2.4, about 2.5 miles left.
Gotta be extremely careful hiking around out here in the desert after the dark. Everything can start to look alike, and I'm actually off trail here, going down into a wash. I guess the actual trail turned right a ways behind me, so I'm just down here crawling around through the brush. Not ideal for sure, but I sort of realize roughly where I'm at, and I'm thinking like, okay, maybe I can climb this bank over here to my right, get back up to the little ridge, and hopefully find the trail. But yeah, not ideal, especially considering there's cacti everywhere and it's pitch black. Made it to the top of this little bank, and my intuition's telling me the trail's gotta be somewhere right around here. At the very least, it's bounded on my right somewhere, so as long as I keep pushing in that general direction, I'll have to stumble upon it.
Aha! These spiders are everywhere on the trail. You can see them by the light reflecting off their eyeballs. "300 feet farther to the Juniper Canyon Junction."
Well, it's been a heck of an adventure today, guys. I enjoyed playing around in the dark there at the end. Started all off with 3 or 4 miles down through this wash, maybe closer to 4 miles. Picked up some water at the Homer Wilson Ranch, crossed a good 12, 13 miles of open desert. Here we are, ready to set up camp and recuperate for tomorrow, which will be the hardest and final day up into and across the Chisos Mountains. If you enjoy this kind of stuff, consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in part 3. Thanks for watching.